She'd get over it eventually.
What up, what up, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Chef Rodney 117 here from Deliciously Dope TV, bringing you yet another Deliciously Dope's Daily Chronicles. Eric, what up, man? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself, Chef?
I'm doing fantastic, making some gummies. We was talking about gummies and stuff. Speaking of gummies, our guest today really needs no introduction, but I'm going to try and give him one that he's... one that he deserves. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about our friends and we talk about, the people that we look up to and kind of just like want to help out, during these times of really need. And this guy is absolutely one of those people. Like this dude would literally give you a shirt off his back. It's one of those things where like, you don't really know how good the people are around you until you meet a person like this dude. He's the founder and CEO of Herban Extracts, like running his own CBD company. He's the co-owner and founder of 100 Zone Media, homeboys from Massachusetts. He's got an amazing podcast going on called What Does Adam Say? So y'all, without any other further ado, I bring to you Adam SOUZA. What up, Adam? How you doing?
It's so weird to be on this side of it and getting introed instead of introing people.
Right? You're like, damn. You know what I mean? You're like, shit.
Can't tell because of my lighting, but you're making me blush, man. What's up, fellas? How you doing, Chef? How you doing, Eric?
Good. Good.
Well, Adam, thank you.
We kind of hopped on last minute because I was making products too. You're making gummies. I'm making chapsticks and pain roll-ons because last night I was like, shit, stoner moment. I have a pop-up event tomorrow, and I had a crazy big weekend that I wasn't expecting because... like the malls have been so slow, and this weekend was not that way, finally. But it hit out of nowhere, so I'm like, shit, I got to make a bunch of products.
It kind of happened to us this last week, too. Bunch of tinctures, bunch of things just started moving really well. What kind of pain roll-ons you do? Are those CBD ones?
Yep. It's so I have the ones I'm making today. It's made with a blend of like 25 different essential oils. It's basically like an icy hot without all the crappy ingredients.
What's the highlight? What's the main essential oils you're putting in there that you like to?
Ginger, eucalyptus, black pepper, grapefruit peel oil.
A lot of terpenes.
There's so many. Actually, I have it right in front of me. Look at that. Organic aloe leaf juice, meadow foam seed oil, menthol, white camphor bark oil, sweet basil oil. There's just so many. Peppermint, pine needle, lemongrass. It's like all over the place. It works well.
Symphony in there, man. That sounds beautiful, dude.
It's very nice. It helps bring. What it does is it kind of helps bring blood to the surface, which helps circulation and helps people with pain. So. It's been a lifesaver for me. When it snowed on Thursday, I believe it was, and I got the neighbors next door. We have the worst neighbors in the world, literally the worst, most inconsiderate neighbors in the world, and they didn't move their car during a parking ban. What happens when they don't move their car is the plows just say, F you, we're just going to skip your whole section. So the house before me, us, the neighbors that suck, and then the people after them all didn't get plowed because these assholes just didn't move their car. Only cars on the street. So I go to pull in to back into the driveway and go in the back, and I get stuck and just dug in. And then, of course, as soon as I do that, blocking off the whole street, 3 people are coming up the street, so I'm like, ah! So I tried to push the car by myself, and I think I either pulled my pec muscle or I might have tore this, man. It really hurts bad. So I've been just rubbing this all over that area.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, I know somebody that makes a pain rub.
I've been living on this, man. It's been crazy.
We got our comments back, y'all. So for a while there, like my comments weren't working for something, and I actually had to contact StreamYard, and it was like, "Yo, my comments won't work." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's because you were trying to because I'm trying to bring new things to everybody's faces, you know, and like I just picked up a new camera, so we're trying to switch everything from my PC back to, you know, the camera and stuff like that, and go wireless and all this, you know, fun stuff, fun stuff. But it's just like, it's so intricate that you have to make sure you click every little, you know what I'm saying? It's like literally this one little box I didn't check completely ruined comments. And I was like, there should be a fail safe, because I just don't, no, I'm new to buttons. You know what I mean?
Literally, like it's back in June, July, when everything was popping off with George Floyd. I went to a Black Lives Matter protest in Boston, and I live streamed, and it got somewhere in the vicinity of 8,000 people watching it.
Oh shit!
Because I was in the front lines in Boston.
Right.
I ended up
as you should be.
I ended up getting my signal crossed and jammed. And then my video got deleted, and ever since then they default all of my live videos, even when I change it in StreamYard to public, they default all of my live videos on my profile to private, so that 100%. Way nobody can share it. I have to like make sure I change it every single show, or they'll leave it on there.
It's funny you should mention that, because we have some mutual friends that, you know, we've all been banned for cannabis at one point in time. Everybody has, you know, whether it's been a 2-day, 3-day, 5-day, something. And I've gotten banned a couple of times, but I've disagreed with it. I was like, yo, this isn't promoting, yo, go rob a store. No, calm down. You know what I mean? And so, like, you know, you disagree with it, and they'll say something X, Y, and Z. And so, like, I've been banned too. Everybody's been banned lately. But one of the things that they do, instead of just banning you, because they can't just keep banning you and deleting your account. They really can't do that. I mean, they can, but they can't. Before they do that, they'll like chop your views in half, or like give you an inaccurate count, or like switch your shit to private and make you do extra work, and so you'll just give up. I've seen people like straight up like just, yeah, exactly.
I did for a while. Actually.
You know what I mean? You just got to figure out how to play the system, you know?
I was live streaming a lot, and then that was like, I would notice like I was getting 300, 400, 500 views on my shows, and then all of a sudden I can't get past 100 anymore. And I'm like, wait a second, all those people are still on there. What happened? And I mean, part of it is, you know, I have been a little bit more vocal about my lack of support of what's going on right now. Like, I really hate everything that's going on right now, and I really hate how people are just kind of playing into the hand that they've been dealt. You know, and some people are, you know, when you start speaking your mind, especially around election time, people get sensitive. They assume that I'm a right-wing nut because I question, you know, the official story, and I'm like, bro, I hate Trump. I don't like Republicans. I don't like Democrats. I don't like any of this shit.
Politicians, period.
Yeah.
Because listen, the word lie, L-I-E, is in the middle of politician. Politician. Who would trust you?
It's hilarious. It's true though. Like, and like. With Trump, dude, like, he is so politicians get paid by all the billionaires, so he's basically been a politician his whole life too. Like, he can say he's not, but realistically, you've been involved in it your whole life too.
Yeah. We're going to try and keep up with comments today, y'all. If you don't see it on the screen, yell at me. I will make sure it's up there. Sorry.
Jen gets shadow banned all the time on all of her accounts.
No, I love Jen. I do, and I feel so bad for her. That's why, like, yo, Jen, at any time you need help with me, girl, let me know. I will share your shit constantly. I try and share everybody's stuff, but it's like, you know how it is, man. We're busy. We're entrepreneurs, man. We are busy.
Busy as fuck, man. Like, literally waking up in the morning, scrambling to make some products, being like, all right, it's 10. I got to run upstairs, go do this show. Then I'm going to finish the show and go finish making products, shower real quick, and then go to this pop-up event all night, go to my mall, drop off stock for them, and then come home and probably do another live show. Like, this shit's insanity. I tell people all the time, like, entrepreneurship isn't being a business owner. It's being a firefighter.
Oh, yeah. Putting out fires left and right. Left and right. Yo, I was going to say, if you want to, man, I see you play that Xbox.
Yes.
Let's collab on that, dog, because I was gonna go Twitch, you know what I'm saying? But Twitch canceled Deliciously Dope TV saying that it was fraudulent or something, which it's not. Dude, that's weird. I'll show you, I'll screenshot the email, I'll forward you the email, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this shit? Exactly. And so, like, I'll just create another one. You know what I mean?
They actually I caught a 3-day ban on Facebook. I caught like a 3-day ban on Twitch. I didn't even know it was a thing. And I caught a 3-month ban on YouTube for for copyright infringement, allegedly. They're not right. So what happened is we had it set up in here, and when you have 2 people on screen, it takes up the middle part of the screen, which is about the middle third of the screen.
Yep.
And his little bubble is 1/2 of 1/3. His 32-inch, 40-inch TV, it's not huge, it's a regular sized TV, was playing in the background lo-fi, like you could just see shapes moving. You couldn't make out who was fighting, you couldn't make out what was happening. So it was taking up like 10% of his screen. So by my calculations, like 2% of the whole screen was taken up by his TV, and they flagged us for copyright. So then I said, fuck you, and I streamed the HD version for like 45 seconds, and my view count went from like 30 people steady watching us talk about the fights, because we were having great commentary. Like, dude, when I say I had to delete everything, and it sucks. When I say there was 5 times throughout the whole event that I said something like, it was UFC, so I was like, he needs to watch his left leg there. He's got himself in a bad position. And then a half a second later, Rogan's like, oh, watch that leg. He needs to watch that leg. It's something, and I'm like, okay. So my year straight of being obsessed with watching every fight possible and all the fight film and all the commentary is starting to pay off. Like, I'm starting to land some fighters that are trying our products. I'm starting to really understand the sport. I'm starting to understand the ground game, not just like the exciting stuff that's punching, kicking people in the face. It's like, no, what happens on the ground is just as exciting if you understand what's going on.
It's a dance.
Yes.
It's a dance. No, let's kind of dial it back a little bit, and let's talk about how you got into cannabis, because everybody has that story. There's that reason why. What is yours?
So I mean, I got into it to get high initially. When I was young, I started smoking weed, and I had a very rough childhood. My stepdad was very abusive, and my escape was drinking, unfortunately. And then I discovered cannabis and kind of eased up on the drinking for a few years, and until I was like 21. Then you go crazy. But so my intro into cannabis may or may not have been sales. And, that's how a lot of us get started. If you don't know that about the cannabis industry, a lot of us started on the gray
learn the
market.
metric system real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, school didn't teach me the metric system. That's for damn sure. And I understand it very well now. Like, I talk to people in England like I fucking learned it growing up. But, yeah, so I started, doing that thing. And at the same time, I was paying attention to everything that was going on. I've very much always been into sales and seeing what the next trend is, and just kind of paying attention, and being the son of a head grower. My dad's a head grower of a local nursery, has been since I was 5 years old. I called my dad in like 2011 and said, hey Dad, I'm starting to notice this legalization movement is happening. I really think you should talk to your boss about getting into cannabis. He's like, no, Adam. Like, come on. You really think they're ever going to legalize this? They're not going to legalize this. And I think it was like, boom, Washington was right after that.
Yep.
I ended up moving to Wyoming, and, again, some crazy shit with weed. But the more important thing is that Colorado legalized that year, 2012. So I started to see it happen. And so when I first moved there
You're like, something's to this, yeah.
Yes. When I first moved there in October 18th, I remember to the day, there was a few dispensaries open. When you went back there like a year later, holy shit.
It's on every corner.
Every corner.
Every corner.
Every freaking corner. And, it just kind of got the wheels moving in my head. It kind of got the wheels moving. And I started doing more research into the medical side around that time, too, because I was like, wait a second, what if this is something I could do? Like, I know how to grow. I got a green thumb. That shit's kind of hereditary. And I like cannabis. So I started looking into it. Unfortunately, with the 9-to-5 life, I kind of just, it was just kind of like a little interest of mine. I liked cannabis. I liked to learn about, terpenes. We were making our own dabs back then in 2013, dude. Like, if you're making your own dabs out there, don't ever do this shit. Ever. but we were open blasting butane into a box fan out of a fucking door in a garage. Like the typical shit you hear about blowing up garages and shit. You know, like not thinking that there is literally a spark point in that fan that we are blowing butane right into. And then we would only purge it for like a day and smoke super hot dabs, dude. It was awful. Like all of us had lung problems for a few years. It was bad, but learning experiences, right? Somebody has to screw it up for us to get it right, which is nowadays the fucking dabs are crazy. So then from there, again, it just kind of was like always in the back of my mind, I ended up moving back out to Colorado in 2015. And, because at the time I wasn't able to see my son. My son's mom was keeping me away from him. So I moved there for like a dope job, fixed my life, and then found a dope job here that paid as much and moved back. And I moved back September 2016. Now, I don't know if legalization follows me, but November 2016 is when Massachusetts legalized.
I haven't heard anything otherwise, so let's just go with that.
Let's just go with that. And it's funny because at this time, I'm literally going to court because now I have money. I'm like, oh, fuck you, I'm going to court. I'm seeing my son. And they're trying to make me look like a drug addict. Like, he smokes weed in front of his kid and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, can you show me proof of that? Because I definitely don't.
Allegedly.
I was like, I could show you pictures of where it's locked up, though. I was like, I literally took pictures of all my pipes and bongs and bowls and weed and everything before I came here in case you want to see that type of thing. You know, like, and towards the end, the lawyer's trying to be like, oh, Your Honor, we want to get him on random drug tests. And the judge just looked at her and was like, Miss, he just said he's going to fail a drug test for weed. Yeah. Why would we waste the court's time and money testing him? Like, he doesn't...
And it proves regression in the courts, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, like, destroyed her. So, when it legalized, it really got my wheels turning. To the point where my buddy and I started a little grow outdoors the next year. We started in a shed, and I remember my very first plant I transplanted, I snapped it at the base.
Oh, no.
But it ended up being a good thing because it stayed short and fat, and it was the best of our 4 plants by like 3x. Okay. So it was a nice little lesson on like accidental training, you know?
No, it's funny you should mention that because like, Eric and I like have been kind of working on. So I grew weed back when like you just packed it. It was just brick weed, dog. Like it was dirt, it was junk. It's so what I'm gonna say, and I barely remember that. Only did it like once in high school, and then like my buddies did it, and I just got it from them, so it just worked. You know what I'm saying? I was the middle guy for a while, but I was always that guy. Like if I wore sunglasses during high school, like everybody fucking just knew he's stoned as shit. But I went to all my classes. You know what I'm saying? Like I did what I needed to do to graduate. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like I just had more money than your regular student. Just saying. Just saying. Metric system paid very well. It still does, actually. But the point is, legalization happened, and like you said, we've all kind of moved forward and adapted to this new way of life, really. We're kind of coming to the surface kind of from the underground, but some of us are comfortable in the underground. We're like, that's cool and all, and I'm glad I'm safe. I'm here, but I don't trust y'all. No, y'all bitches are assholes. Let's see where this goes. Let's let it ride out. And a lot of people, they talk about things like, with COVID and the vaccine, the same thing. And I kind of vibe that as well. Like, all right, check it out. You rushed that. It's like any video game. Yo, real talk right now, Cyberpunk 77 crashed and burned. Okay.
Yep.
And that because they rushed it.
Hold on, pause there for 1 second. And Cyberpunk told people, hey, we can't rush this or everything's going to go to shit. And people were like, no, give it to us now. And then they give it to them and all of a sudden it's fucked up.
So now take that and take the and switch it to the COVID vaccine thing. It's the same thing, y'all. It's the same thing. There's no denying that. You can fight semantics all you want. Semantics, you're just trying to fight through that. You're just being pedantic at this point, okay?
Yeah, people keep saying trust the science, but the thing about science is always trying to disprove itself. The science is saying it takes well over a year. You see what I'm saying? At the very minimum. Up to what, 8 years was it? Yep, 8 to 10 years for clinical trials.
So it's like, all right, I get it. Just be healthy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of devastation. There really is.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Do you know anybody who's like a major stoner that got COVID?
No, I've been saying the same shit.
Yeah, because I've asked
But
like
hang on,
15, 20 people now. And
hang on
nobody...
though. Hang on. No, because I did hear some people smoking weed that smoked weed and like, you know, decently regularly that did get COVID. So hang on. There were, I know 3 people. Let's go through them actually. I'm not going to call them out, but we're going to go through them. So this one person, I do know she lives, you know, down Detroit area. She was busy. I don't know her lifestyle. I just know that she, you know, she eats a lot of edibles for sure. But I feel like that maybe she did. I don't know. I don't know if she was smoking regularly or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know a few people that did, but my main thing is like, I don't know any like major stoners.
yeah. Like I smoke weed all day, every day, like no matter what I'm doing. And I've been sick. Yeah. But that's literally everything could be attributed back to my allergies. For example, my coffee, I can smell it. I can taste it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So,
like, I haven't seen any major stoner that's gotten like severe symptoms.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So I will say that last year around this time, exactly around this time, I picked up my son for Christmas, and I was already fighting off like a normal cold for the season, and he came with something else, and I think it was COVID. Like I had every symptom, dude. Like I'm normally 155 pounds. I was down to 120 pounds.
Bro.
I was sick for 3 straight weeks. Every symptom, dude. Like there was days that I would just be like underneath comforters in a jacket, shivering my ass off. Like I could not. And then I go to the doctor, and they're just like, "What's that?"
That sounds like flu.
They said no. You know, they said it was an upper respiratory infection, but
which it could have possibly, yeah.
That was early January last year, I mean this year. So, you know, they were misdiagnosing a lot of people that probably had COVID early. You know, and that's cool for me because I am definitely a believer that when you need to expose yourself to germs to make your immune system better. Like hiding from germs is never gonna make you fight sickness. I explained that to my 6-year-old son this weekend. I was like, hey, we were talking about, I said immunity and immune system. He said, what's that? And I said, well,
exposure equals immunity. That's how that
your
works.
immune system fights off all kinds of sicknesses, but the only way it can do that is if it knows what the sickness is first, so that way it can know what to fight off. If it's never exposed to it, it'll never know what to fight off.
And it's interesting because if I can add sorry, go ahead, Eric, go.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's important to keep that immune system healthy so that when it does come in contact, it can do its job. It can produce like millions of cells per second or minute or something like that and fight these viruses, fight this bacteria, and study them in order to put it in our DNA and have our immune system be able to kick the shit out of whatever it needs to.
Yep. So it's funny you should say that because I actually want to point out a few things, guys, because it's saying the same thing, but I want to point out stuff that maybe you've overlooked or haven't seen, or maybe I've just noticed. Call me crazy, and this isn't conspiracy theory, but I just want to point out stuff that I've noticed. Okay, so let's say this. Let's say you go and buy mushrooms at a grocery store in a little plastic, container. Cool. $1.50, go home, $2, whatever, go home, chop them, cook them, eat them. It's not the same. You go out and get a morale or something natural or something from someone that grows mushrooms, like a herb center or something like that, natural center, something like that. They taste different. So I think that they, in order to keep up with the population, I think that all companies on all fronts, this does include vitamins that people would take. You noticed all those vitamin companies, you don't really know what you're getting. Okay, their website says this, but in small print it says it must contain at least this much to be called this. All these disclaimers and stuff. Yo, you could be popping all these sugar. They ain't vitamins. It's sugar pills.
And it's pretty fucked up.
When I was at the health store, there was like a third-party testing thing that didn't have anything to do with any of the companies in the health supplement game. And they took a bunch of them off the shelves, tested them, and like a large number of them had 0 milligrams of what were in there. So,
and that's what I'm saying. So
back to the company.
All this time, we thought we were like boosting our immune systems and stuff over the years from taking vitamins and drinking milk and all this. We really weren't. You see what I'm saying? And this proves it. So the people that are passing away from COVID, dude, it sucks. Absolutely 100%. It does.
A tragedy.
It's scary. I feel it even more now because I'm terrified, bro. But that being said, in this zombie apocalypse, if you will, people they're going out and not really like saying, it's like that hidden bite in the zombie in the films. You know what I'm saying? They get bit. They know they're bit. You know what I'm saying? They cover it up. I got a job to do. No. be bit, go away. You know what I mean? Run the other way. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my point.
Jeremiah,
if you feel symptoms, stay at home. That's it.
I don't know if THC builds your body's natural immune system, but if your endocannabinoid system needs THC to be more balanced, that will help your immune system because your body's in better homeostasis.
So THC, okay, here's the thing with that, Jeremiah. So THC, CBD, Delta-8, all of these are cannabinoids on the spectrum, okay? There's that. So imagine like a little line, the different integration.
There's over 130. They only know what like 6 of them do, kind of.
Right. So there's this entire like little like line. So you start with CBG all the way to THC. You see what I'm saying? And there's Delta-8 and all of that. So we're going to go CBG to THC. So certain strains have certain higher levels of cannabinoids. Okay. Now you break that down into strains. So there's a huge little Iron Man thing, if you will. And then all of these, so they do certain things. So it really depends on what strain you're using. A. B. You're going to want, if you're sick, more of a CBD, CBG content. You see what I'm saying? THC is really kind of used as a psychoactive and a pain medication. That's really it. Okay. Once you learn that, you push it to the side. People do chase that, cerebral high and things like that. But like I just made gummies. Like, dude, it
does help with my anxiety personally too. THC is great, but THC can have an adverse reaction for anxiety too. Like my fiance, if she smokes too much, she's like, ah! But me, I'm like, ah.
And with all cannabinoids, like in the system, you got CB1 and CB2 receptors. The CB1 is on your nerves. That's where like, in the brain and where like THC works on, and like CB2 receptors are on your immune system. And so like cannabinoids do have a direct effect on our immune system. A lot of them quiet it and stuff, but for your immune system to work at its like highest state, you can't be in a fight or flight mode. You can't be in sympathetic nervous system. You got to be in the parasympathetic where you're actually like rest, relaxation, and repair. So that's why like when the cannabinoids calm your whole system down by calming your nerves, that in turn helps your immune system no matter how you want to look at it, let alone
100%. And kind of spinning off that, like going back to the food aspect of it. If you start cooking things yourself, you know what's in it. Okay. So that being said, putting these herbs, I'm going to keep saying that because that's really what it is, man. That's all it is. Thyme, lemongrass, cilantro, onions, any kind of herb. Basil, sage, lavender, all of these things we cook with. These things have terpenes. If you add them to cannabis, those terpenes are going to give you more of a. So it's really okay. You're turning your hose on. You turn it on low. That's what you're getting with just putting THC and stuff in your food. No big deal. A little bit of herbs, cool, whatever, right? Because you absorb it. So if you absorb it and you eat it, doesn't matter how much you smoke. It's going to be a different high. Because you're absorbing more of it at once because of the terpenes in the food that will allow for the absorption of the cannabinoids. So you turn your hose on low. That's your normal blast. If you actually go through and create an herbal blend, and cook with your food to heal you, listen, all of you, okay? Add herbs. These are fine. It's just another herb. Add it in there. Know the herbs you're adding. Know the adverse reactions. Know what you're trying to heal. Figure out the real problems. Handle your life. That's
food is medicine.
Too many people are really relying on other people, and you really shouldn't be. You should be self-sufficient. Facts.
Yeah, and like especially worrying about your immune system and stuff like that. There's so many herbs that we already intake. Like throw a bunch more oregano in your food. Like
exactly. It adds flavor at that.
Yep.
If people knew how much oregano was in actual marinara sauce, they'd be like, nah. But if you do it right, there's a lot of oregano in there.
Yeah, that's what gives it the flavor.
Yeah.
It's crazy too. Like people don't understand that especially with THC, when you eat it, it changes. Like once it converts in your liver, it changes to a whole different compound that turns from psychoactive to potentially hallucinogenic. So right there, I want to tell you something. I actually know the dosage you need to be exposed to for hallucinations to kick in. Interesting. You don't think everybody's different?
1,000 milligrams of THC. You get blasted with that, hallucinations can begin.
know people that have gone through hallucinations with way less.
Way less.
They're,
So my theory
so
is
much depend on the system because
I think it's liver enzyme based. I think if everybody, it's
sense.
very expensive. There are genetic tests that you can test your. I can't remember the coding for it. There's like an NQR25 like enzymes in your liver. I have it in my notes somewhere. But if you can get that tested to figure out your levels, and I think mine is messed up because I took Excedrin migraine from when I was like 14 till I was like 26 every day, like 4 to 8 pills a day, and like my liver's
just did what you had to do. Yep, exactly.
And yeah, dude, like it's crazy. So I think because I'm a small guy, right? Like I can handle my get started dose is like 500-600 milligrams.
Okay.
You know, like for me, 100 milligrams. I remember I was with my former business partner and we got a little jar of gummies and it was like 250 milligrams for the whole jar. And I'm just sitting there in the passenger seat, just pop, 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 pop. And he just, every time I'm popping one, he's just looking at me like,
you about to go to fucktown.
What are you doing? And then like it's an hour and a half ride home and I get home and he's like, "How you feeling those?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna go inside and smoke and go work on some stuff." And then he hits me up like an hour later. He's like, "Are you stoned?" I was like, "No." Like I'm telling you, bro. Like,
well, real talk though, because it goes back to knowing what's in there. You could have bought that jar. They could have said that, and it could have been bunk.
I
That's
trust
why
the
we say
person.
don't buy your cannabis products from a gas station. Don't do it.
This is a person that like made them that I trust that gave them to me.
Right. I used to know a guy years ago that same thing. Like literally, he'd get high as hell when we were smoking weed, you know. But we make a tray of brownies, and like one time he was just like, "No, I don't get high off edibles," and so we put like an ounce in a tray of brownies, and like all of us had one brownie and we're stoned, and he ate like half the tray and was still just like rolling up blunts for us, you know. It's like,
some people can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, fellas, right there, let's talk about that organ we're talking about again. Right there, liver. Okay, follow me if you will. You notice a lot of people are stopping. The way they stop drinking is maybe kind of sipping on that joint a little bit. They've put down one vice for the other, and they're learning that this vice right here shouldn't have ever been more illegal than the other. So that's what we're really trying to do. We're trying to make cannabis just as acceptable as a cup of coffee with the caffeine people out there, just as acceptable as a glass of wine or a beer in your hand. You see what I'm saying? Soon, exactly. Soon you're going to see cannabis.
It's camouflaged.
It is, isn't it? But no, like that's, we want to make this acceptable because it should have been all along. A lot of people are finding out that, and I'm one of these people, so I can say this. Going on 6 years now, I've been absolutely 100% sober, no alcohol in my body whatsoever.
Fuck
that's
yeah, dude.
That's me. I attribute that to cannabis. It made it easier for me. My story, we'll get to that, sometime down the road, but that's what happened. I fought it. I fought the stigma. I was like, it's illegal for a reason. Cause at that time it wasn't, it was still illegal. There's a black market. There's a few medical cards. There's a whole thing. And so then I was like, nah. And then finally I went to the doctor and he was just like, no, smoke a joint. There's nothing else I can do. Cause I had a pharmacy at home. He just kept throwing pills at me, dude. Like literally, like I'm not gonna lie to you, like I threw away a lot of money, okay, when I did that. I was just part of the psychosis, and that's what you go through. And so transitioning from drinking just nothing but whiskey all day, all the time, you know what I'm saying, to this thing heals you, you know what I mean? So it's like it's huge. And so then cooking with it, whole other aspect. But going back to the liver, dude, it's your body. People need to start listening to their body. Their body will tell them things, pay attention to that. You'll know when the red flags are, I'm saying that because the more that you learn to take care of things, self-sufficiently with the help of cannabis and things like that, as kind of parents, if you will, to help guide us, you stay away from nobody really wants to go to a hospital or an emergency room right now. You see what I'm saying? No.
I had to recently.
If we were more self-sufficient, like if you're like, I got a little bitty baby cut, like don't go to the fucking emergency room for that. I'm sorry. Like that just infuriates me because that's like, I deal with those same people in the restaurant. They're like, my steak was medium rare. I didn't like it. So then why'd you eat half of it?
I saw that when I worked in a grocery store. Somebody brought a cake box and said, this cake was awful. Like no cake inside. Like, okay, where's the fucking cake? And they just take it. They just take it back.
Yeah, but that's my point. And you just to keep customers, their customers always right. No, they're not. They're not. They used to always be right. I'll give you that. Okay, but now they some whiny bitches. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of people out there that are just
people are
they want to
scared
see the
to
world
though.
burn, man.
So I gotta say, my company is we either just eclipsed or just coming up on the 2,000 customer mark,
Ooh.
and I will say that people are they don't even know it, but they have a lot of anxiety.
Yes.
And about a lot of things, and they get very scared when new things come up and they're just unsure about it. Like one of the biggest things I hear is like they'll be so into it. I'll see them, rub our salve on their, like I see old people like this, bro. Their hands, they can't move them, and I'll give them salve to try, and they rub it on their hands, and I'm just talking to them. I'm like, yeah, look at, I have like a TV playing. I'm like, look, these are the plants that are in the product, yada yada yada, and I'll see them go like this.
Yep.
And then they just look at me like,
it works.
What the fuck did you just give me? But then they leave and they're like, I need to find more information.
How many times after that happens, you just like ninja smoked us magic? And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Dude, you got to do that one.
That's a guaranteed sale. I should start doing that.
They'd be enticed to be like, well, wait a minute. Hang on. Do you know David Blaine? And you're like, no. Why would I know him? You know what I mean? No, I love it. I love it, dude. That's a success story. Fantasize. Yeah. I love it. Dude, that's the thing. Like, you get to like watch that all day, and dude, it must infuriate you though.
It doesn't anymore. No, it's because I'm scared of certain things too. You know, like I get it. You know, for a lot of people, this is their first time even trying a cannabis product.
Right.
For a lot of people, it's the first time they've tried any cannabis product since they were in high school and they smoked a joint. I get that all the time from like my client base is like 50 plus. You know, like they're all older. You wouldn't think so because I'm a long-haired hippie. You'd think they'd all stay away from me, but they gravitate to me like fucking moths to light. And it's because like I can talk to them in a medical way, but I look like the person that they would trust to buy weed if they were buying weed. You know, like. And
$15 or $15, little man. If you sing that song, people probably may not trust you.
The group that like needs those the most too. That's our biggest clientele.
Yes.
You know, it's people that have arthritis. They've been working for a long time in their life. You know, a lot of them doing some hard work, you know, on their bodies, and
some of them still working at 70 plus.
Oh, you know what I hear most commonly? You know what I hear? I'll have like, you know, I don't have a pill bottle because I've turned away from those, but I'll have them be like, listen, these pills just ain't working, and they'll throw them. You know, and they're so frustrated by their daily life. You know what I'm saying? Because the price of the pills are just skyrocketing.
Have you heard of Kratom before?
Skyrocketing. People with insulin. Why do people have to pay for insulin? Just saying. They need it to live. That you're paying to live. That's not okay. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Nobody in the cannabis market that's actually really in it for the love and like the healing and stuff like that. And you know these people. You'll know from their prices. And dude, I'll be honest with you, Eric, Adam, both of y'all are on here because of your prices. Like I've looked at both of your products. I've tried both of your products. Adam, I'm out of your products. You know what I'm saying? That's my point. So it's like having watched that happen, you know what I'm saying? Myself, I can be able to pass that on. And honestly, like that's where I'm a kind of a generational gap because it's like working in kitchens, and you know this, you have to be approachable by everybody. Doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter who the fuck they are. Okay. You're talking to that person because it's just like, you're here now. What do we need to do? What's going on? All right, move. Let's go. You know, that's just it. You're moving and you're shaking, you're doing your thing. So I've really taken a jump over from the cooking scene to the cannabis scene. Both start with C, so that's enough for me. Fuck it, there's a good reason, But it helped me. So I was like, this just serendipitously makes sense, And it's led me to this point, And so like, that's where kind of like I've started to vow, yeah, let's add more science to this. And so that's where we've got some new shit coming up. You know what I'm saying? We're throwing more science into it. But with more science, y'all, comes more research. With more research comes, I got to do more stuff. I'm one man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing about science is good science is always trying to disprove itself.
Exactly.
And that's why when people say, just trust science, I'm like, well, no, that's not how science works. Like, you're supposed to not trust science. You're supposed to try to disprove it.
Mm-hmm. And how much has changed the last 100 years in science, even the last 10 years in science.
And scientists are humans, you know, like people want to say that they can't be bought off. Well, I can show you an example of how they have been bought off. Let's talk about fucking the Marijuana Tax Act for a fucking second, and how every scientist and doctor and pharmacist and researcher lied for almost 100 years about how cannabis was going to rot your brain because our government wanted that to happen, to push the plastics industry, the oil industry. There's a couple other industries that they pushed as well. So
my mic just crashed and fell. I get to fix that later.
At least it didn't make a big bang. That's good.
Yeah, right. Or hit me in the face. It just pink.
But that's what's tough about science, is it is still humans, so they can still be. So you always have to be looking for the science that disproves the science that you're reading, and that that's what I do all the time. I'm like, okay, I think this is true. Let me go find the opposite, and let me go read about the opposite, because the opposite is always out there. That's the thing that sucks, is like you can find information and then the opposite of that information everywhere, no matter what you do, and you have to find the truth somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I come from like health and wellness background, you know, and digging through like nutrition and just general health and wellness. There's conflicting information on each side, and it also has to go back to like biodiversity of each person being different and their systems working different. Same thing in the pharmaceutical industry and all that stuff. And it's something that I think we need to take a closer look at. You know, the further you look into medicine, the more we realize that we don't really know as much as, you know, we know a lot about a lot of things.
Yep.
But when you dig down deep into for the real reasons why, like sometimes we really don't, you know, and a lot of times, most of the times, we really don't know exactly what's happening.
Sometimes it's suppressed from us too, you know, like
and a lot of, you know, and that's the thing. It's like, listen, at the end of the day, guys, what we're really trying to do is like, we want people to think for themselves. Okay. Stop being reliant on, you know, other people, you know, start thinking for yourself. That's one of the biggest things that we can do to help move everything forward. That being said, you know, kind of use logic, use a good judge of character, whether you've, you know, let it go completely or become beat down. Let's reset this, y'all. You know, let's get back out there and actually be able to stand up on our own 2 feet. Cause trust me, I'm not one to take this lying down, and I don't think y'all are either. Now, let's kind of move that from there, because whew, man, we can go on for hours for that. I've got a question that's been burning in my mind, okay, because this is kind of a new thing that I want to do, and I said, screw it, because I want to do it now. Because if I don't say it right now, I'm going to forget it. Here it is. Is there a memorable moment where you were caught smoking cannabis, like by your dad, by your girlfriend, by somebody that didn't like it?
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. I just saw my mom and we were talking about this. So when I was about 15, I want to say, my room was in the basement. It was in the basement because it was very easy to sneak out of the basement and get out and go drink and party with my friends.
Yep.
So the way my basement was set up, there was stairs in the middle separated by halves. My half was separated in half by a wall, so I had to go like around the whole basement to get to the bulkhead on the other side. And typically I would have, you know, the storm door closed and I would smoke out of the bulkhead, and I never got caught. Well, I guess and also, oh, peace, Jeremiah, have a good day. Also, I would stuff my bed with like pillows and everything to make it look like there was somebody still laying in there, just in case.
Oh, no.
So I'm smoking in my little room. I'm smoking a pipe, and I'm like, and I see a light turn on. Like there's a little sliver above like the dividing wall, and I see the light turn on, and I'm like,
oh no.
And so I go to like run and lay down. Like I heard them go upstairs, so I like closed the door. I ran and went to go lay down. And then they come downstairs like, we know you're not sleeping. What the fuck are you doing? Get up. And I'm like, oh God. I guess I forgot that the top of the storm door was open a little bit, and it drifted into the house, into the air vents, and went throughout the whole house. So they caught me doing that. And it never stopped me from smoking. It just kind of made it was like, oh, I'm going to keep smoking more. You know,
Yeah.
and I think sometime
The
around
shit's
that.
loud. You start blowing it in the vent.
Fuck you. There was this one time around then that I bought some weed from this kid, and there was these twins that used to sell weed up the street from us, and I think they sold us salvia. Like, it was kind of grassy
no.
looking, leafy looking, and it was brown.
Yep.
And we smoked it, and my buddy got naked and ran up the street. And I remember just laying on the grass because my front yard was like sloped and just looking up at the stars, like, oh. And yeah,
I have
it was
a really bad
wild.
salvia story. It's terrible.
Oh God. Let's hear it.
So
Salvia stories at 11 a.m. By the way, LOL.
right, it's the best. So salvia was legal for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It popped up, and like you could buy it at head shops. Like that's what it was. It was like you guys remember what was it, hookahs and stuff like that, like hashish or whatever it was. Basically the same shit. And so it was right next to each other, you know, da 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 da. So my friend owned a hookah shop, and like he would sell hookahs, and you got the idea. So being on college campus, MSU, I'm going to go ahead and say that because they were number 10 party school in the world. That's, you know, or the nation. So that was pretty cool.
What school was it again?
Michigan State University. Yeah. So long story short, I was at a buddy's house on campus. We just got out of class. I didn't live on campus. He did. He was in Spartan Ave. And so like we went to his house, and like he bought salvia, and we smoked it out of a hookah, which, okay, for those of you that don't know,
like mixed with hashish,
you can smoke on it and do more than, you know, it's not a big deal. You can smoke. It's like smoking cigarettes. You can
hold on. Did you mix it with the hashish? I mean, with the not the hashish. What's it called? The fucking mixture that you put into hookah.
I don't know what he did.
Ugh.
I didn't do it. Like when I showed up, they were already smoking it. So I was just like, so I didn't know it was salvia. I thought it was hashish because it didn't smell, you know, but everybody was laid back, you know what I'm saying? And they're still toking. And I'm like, yo, I'm getting in on this, you know? So I went to the fridge real quick, grabbed a beer because I was a drinker, you know, I was like 18, 19 at the time. So yeah, I was drinking, grabbed a beer. I popped down a beer and I, drank that. I was like, all right, cool, let's do this. I know I just got off work, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even change. Like I'm still in my chef coat. And I was like, I got tomorrow off, like, well, at least a half day. So I was like, all right, cool. I got time to sleep in. We'll be all right. I hit this like twice, just like you normally would. Get a good lungful, like a nice morning cigarette, if you will. Y'all remember that? And like, dude, it was real quick. I'll be honest with you. I just started tripping, dog. Like it was just like. No. So I turned to him, and I, in slow mo in my own head, I'm talking to my boy. I'm like, "What is this?" And it was just terrible. And so, like, he goes, "Oh yeah, man, that's not hookah tobacco. That's not hashish, bro. It's this new jam called salvia. Peep it." And he throws it to me in slow motion. I watch this plastic thing just go poof. And I fall over, and it felt like I was like, dude, you killed me, man. He's like, you're not dead. He's like, do not talk about the devil. I was like, too late. And it just started getting dark. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's because like in his apartment, he had lights behind things because it was really weird, like a lighting engineer. Like, that's what he did. Concerts and shit, that's what he does. So of course he had the neat little LEDs and all the cool new shit that was hitting the stage. I remember he used to sell LEDs. Great guy. Anyways, so like I remember the floor was really dark though. You know what I'm saying? And that was just common. It's 43 parties. Nobody cares about the floor. There's probably puke on it anyways. You know what I mean? So so everything got dark. And like now that I look back on this, like everything makes sense logically. But dude, I freaked out hardcore. Like that's from that. Learn this. Tell people what they're getting into before they jump into it. Okay, and it was crazy. And then like a year later, it was made illegal and stuff like that. And there was still black market sales, and there probably still are. But I wouldn't recommend, just jumping headfirst into something like that. And I wouldn't do it to anybody that I know.
Dude, my buddy said that he smoked a bowl and it ended up being fucking DMT. I was like, bro, what? I would be pissed. He's like, I took like 4 hits.
Your hand and you see through your hand.
He's like, I took like 5-6 hits off of this. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you are a madman.
If you're doing DMT, you want to go the full blast, you got to take hits until you can't take hits anymore.
he wasn't wanting to do DMT. He thought he was smoking weed. And then all of a sudden he's tripping sack and looking at, I don't even know. We haven't even talked about his experience on DMT yet, but he didn't want to talk about it seemed like.
I remember accidentally doing acid once. That was a neat experience. Like, I loved it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it was amazing. I didn't even mean to. Like, I showed up at a boy's house to kind of like pick him up to go. No, and here's the worst part. I was taking him to a funeral. Like, we were going to a funeral of a coworker, and I thought it was like, I was like, oh yeah, dude, I got, and even because it wasn't labeled, like it was just like it looked like a breath mint. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, cool, boom. I was like, yeah, I just took one of your breath mints. Like, he was like, no, you didn't. I was like, yeah, what's up? He's like, give me your keys. That's all he said. He's like, give me your keys. I was like, why? He's like, I'm driving. I'm like, why? He's like, bro, you just took acid. I was like, no. That's all I said. I was like, no. And he's like, he was like, how much did you take? I was like, just one little, like, it was all like, you know, it was just laying on the table. I just took one. I went and took one. You know what I'm saying? He goes, you're going to be fine, but this is going to be the weirdest funeral you've ever been to. And so we're at my buddy's funeral. I'm standing at the coffin just losing my mind. And he was just like, shut up, shut up. I can hear him. Like, you know, he was like that consciousness. And he's like, dude, just listen to my voice and you'll be, dude, I can't tell you the horror, but yet the amazing weird shit that I saw at a funeral.
I've never done acid, but I can only imagine.
But it was just like, and so then about 8 hours of that, about 7-8 hours of that, I was just losing my fucking mind. I just remember the whole day so vividly. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. If you've never done acid, I don't recommend jumping straight into it like that. I can't say that it hurt me. I can't speak on that. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can say that it didn't really hurt me. I can say this. Go to shrooms first. Go to shrooms first. If you can't handle shrooms, you have no business going past that. That's it. Yep. Know your limit. Know your limit. That can be applied however you want to take that. Know your limit. That's really what it is, guys.
Both of them, I think, and any like psychedelic or major, even like you know, doing heavy amounts of cannabis or anything, I think should be used in like a therapeutic, a safe setting. You know, making sure
microdose
that's not you know, blasted as you are, I should say, you know, and
everybody's different on that too, and every strain of mushroom is different too, so you got to realize
100%.
that.
100%. Yes. So it's funny you should mention that because I've started like, you know, microdosing, if you will. Let me explain my microdosing. So people are like, that's not microdosing. It is though. So I normally just smoke flower. Eric, you know this. Adam, I'm sure you know this. Like, I love my flower. Love my flower. Love my edible.
Delta 8 cart too.
Exactly. And so it's like, you know, I do too, man. My little fucking Roken vape carts and shit. I love these little bastards. Like, this guy is always within 10 feet of me just because it's like, it's a good little quick, you know, get and go. I love it. That being said, like, I love flour because there's more you can cook with it. I eat with it. You get the idea. But now I'm taking Bad Girl Buds actually hooked me up with some of this, it's like crumble or dabs or something, but it's not diamonds. It's not wet. It's not goopy. It's just like crumble. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, yo, take some of that, put it on top of your bowl, like just a little bit, you know, around just for some flavor and smoke on that. Yo, you get a little bit higher. So it's a better bowl experience. Like 1, 2, you're good. I cleaned it out. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's dirty now because I smoked out of it last night, but you know, it's clean. I put my, you know, my material flour in there, put the you know, the little crumbles on top and hit it. And dude, I'm telling you,
Wrecked.
Oh my God. Not only do I get the taste from the flour, but that it's like the terpenes from the actual dab, you know, or whatever material that is, crumble. I got to learn what it is. That's my point. I'm learning too, but that's my type of microdosing. I'm making the segue from flour to concentrates.
Yeah,
out, but you know,
what I do is, yeah, man, I go on these like I'll go on like 3-4 months of like doing dabs. So I use my nectar collector.
I heard that that's a good way to start because you can do low temp that way.
It's not the best low temp option, I'll be honest.
Yeah, you got to be good at like telling the temp of your neck.
And it cools
That's
down
what I've
so
heard, yeah.
quick that it's like sometimes you just miss the temp. I can't find it, but yeah, that's what I have right now. I'm on a dab break, but I'm getting some today because I stopped for like a month, you know,
Right.
because I get to the point where I can't get stoned from flour anymore, and I'm kind of like, is this bad? Like, I don't know, like, because flour is natural, you know, like it
So
takes
from there, I
work
just
to.
started eating edibles.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's what I did.
And edibles for me are great for pain, you know, because and for me they don't rock me, so it's like I can take 150 milligrams and knock off my pain real quick, and I'm just good. I'm like so relaxed. Oh
Absolutely.
man.
And that's, it's funny because I just made gummies, with the magical butter machine that I got at home. Like I love that thing. I've made all of my Christmas gifts with that this year. Like even my girlfriend was like, I was like, hey, I could go buy you something. Like I could buy you a bunch of stuff, and I already did, but I want to make you a gift. So I need you to just, go into the other room for 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like I need you to go away. And that's the thing. So it's like, that's like I look at it as like my own little macaroni, like macrame picture, when you're 5, you know what I'm saying? Except for like, if I did that now, she'd be like, you need to stop smoking weed, honey. That's what's going on. But, and she might get one. Who knows? We got the noodles now. She wants to giggle about it. Guess what's going to happen? But, I can hear her on the other side. I can hear her giggling, but no, it's, and that's my point. So it's like, what do you get? A stoner chick, get her high. That's really what it is. That's what you do. That's what she's looking for. She's the same type of you. If somebody gave me a gummy for Christmas and I ate that and I felt good for 2 or 3 hours, I just affected your feeling. I made you feel better. And that's, I don't know, to me, the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah. Literally. I love giving during this time.
Like,
that's funny you said that, actually,
exactly.
because I wanted to bring this up before the end of the show. We're actually doing a 7-day giveaway. We're on day.
Oh, shit.
Today's day 5? Yeah, 5 already.
No.
So, yeah, we're doing a free giveaway. Today's giveaway is 2 1,000 milligram oils. And then tomorrow's giveaway is a $100 gift certificate to Herban Extracts. And then Christmas Eve, the day 7 giveaway is a $50 Visa gift card, $50 gift certificate to Herban Extracts, 2,000 milligram oil, 2,000 milligram salve, and 2,000 milligram cooling muscle gel. So we're giving away, like, we've already given away, I think, $400 or $500 worth of products. We're giving away another like 600 or 700. And then I'm almost thinking about doubling the Christmas Eve giveaway and doing it again on Christmas, because the site that I used to do my giveaway isn't letting me change the end date. I screwed up and I thought that Christmas was 7 days and it was actually 8. So it's like not letting me end it. So I kind of I'm kind of thinking about putting more prizes in there. So I'm just seeing how the week goes for sales and everything.
See how people are biting for sure. Absolutely. 100%.
Exactly. It's definitely rough out there for fucking retail right now, but
oh yeah, for anybody really.
I posted
that being
the
said,
website.
How can people check it out?
I just posted the website in the comments. It's urbanextracts.co. If you go right there, the first thing you'll see is the giveaway contest. It was on King Sumo, that's what it's through, but it's like a long link, and I figured out how to embed it into the website to make it easier for people. And then while you're there, you can, check out my biography if you don't really know about me, and you could check out our products and whatnot. We're running 30% off till Christmas as well, because where everybody's hurting for money right now, our sales are down, and that's how you tell, right? Because like last Christmas, we had one location in the mall. We did about $20,000 in sales in just December. This year, we're probably looking at 6,000 or 7,000. So down.
COVID affects people, man.
And so what I started thinking, like, okay, if people don't have money, I gotta help. I gotta meet them somewhere in the middle. So 30% off everything. I might keep it going longer than that, especially if they shut us down again. I'm trying to keep my prices as affordable as possible without getting sued for undercutting all my competition, because that is there's like fair price acts and everything that you have to follow, and you can't undercut people by certain percentages. But if you run sales,
that's a different story. That's a different story. That being said, Mother's Infusions, what we got going on until January?
We got 25% off of all of our products on our whole website, and also includes free shipping in that too. Something we're really excited about this week is our newest product is our herbal smoking blends. Our pre-rolls, they have like a hemp filter, so it's like hemp kind of cardboard. I know you probably can't see it that well, but it's like a hemp filter in this bad boy. Hemp paper with a blend of its chamomile, lavender, sage, and mullein, mixed 50-50 with some cherry wine CBD. It's a 60% CBD strain. It's a beautiful smoke full of terpenes. The smell on this stuff and the look of the buds is just beautiful. And
Can't wait to try it. Can't wait to try it. So basically,
to get these out to people. So
hell
they'll be on the website today. Come check us out.
mothersinfusions.com, you guys, urbanextracts.co. Y'all, if you need it, we can get it. If you want it, we can find it. We're the people that you're really going to want to turn to get educated on this, to erase that stupid stigma, to kind of help us move forward in the future. But that being said, y'all, here we are at the end of the show. I can't thank you again, Adam, for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me,
Thank you
bro.
so much. Y'all check him out, urbanextracts.co. What did Adam say? Check out the podcast. If you don't know, now you know. Eric, as always, it's been a huge pleasure, man. I'll talk to you later about those herbal botanical blends and stuff, man. I really want to try those, man.
I'm gonna bring you some by.
Oh, hell yeah, man. All right. I'm your host, Chef Rodney 117, Deliciously Dope TV, man. This has been Daily CHRONIclez, y'all. Peace.